Now study correct material. A common phrase that is incorrect is practice makes perfect. This is far from the truth. Practice only makes what you are practicing permanent. If you practice the incorrect sentence, you will have perfected saying the sentence incorrectly. Therefore, it is important that your study material that is commonly used by most people. Another problem I see is that many students study the news. However, the language they speak is more formal, and the content they use is more political and not used in regular life. It is important to understand what they are saying, but this is more of an advanced lesson that should be studied after learning the fundamental basics of English. Studying English with a friend who is not a native English speaker is both good and bad. You should be aware of the pros and cons of speaking with a non-native speaking friend. Practicing with a non-native person will give you practice. You can also motivate each other and point out basic mistakes. But you might pick up bad habits from one another if you're not sure about what are correct and incorrect sentences. So use these practice times as time period to practice the correct material you studied, not to learn how to say a sentence. In short, study English material that you can trust, that is commonly used, and that is correct. A language can be learned with ease if you develop a keen eye and ear for it. Language, it is said, is made of words, or in other words, it is made of sounds which is grouped together in particular way make words. Words are grouped further into sentences to make some sense. But when we use a language to speak or to write, we do not accurate it words. A stands for an object, but an object has no identity until and unless it is associated with another thing. An apple has no existence in the air unless it is either hung on the tree as a fruit or is found on the ground or in the plate. The picture of apple will be complete with 3 words: the object, the preposition, showing the relation with the other object, and the other object itself. An apple on the tree, an apple on the table. Such groups of words are known as lexus. The approach to study a language learning process is called the lexical approach, developed by Michael Lewis. In this first of 2 Think articles, we look at how advocates of the lexical approach view language. In the second Think article, we apply theories of language learning to a lexical approach and describe what lexical lessons could look like. The principles of lexical approach have been around since Michael Lewis published the lexical approach some years ago. It seems, however, that many teachers and researchers do not have a clear idea what the lexical approach looks like in practice. All the parts in brackets are fixed or set phrases. Different commentators use different and overlapping terms. Prefabricated phrases, lexical phrases, formalic phrases, frozen and semi-frozen phrases are just some of these terms. We use just 2, lexical chunks, and collocations. Lexical chunk is an umbrella term which includes all the other terms. We define a lexical chunk as any pair of group of words which are commonly found together or in close proximity. Collocation is also introduced in the term lexical chunk, but we refer to it separately from time to time. So we define it as a pair of lexical content, words commonly found together. Following this definition, basics plus principles is a collocation. But look, plus add is not because it combines a lexical content word and grammar function word. Identifying chunks and collocations is often a question of intuition, unless you have access to a corpus. Here are some examples of lexical chunks that are not collocations. By the way, up to now, upside down, if I were you, a long way off, out of my mind. Now here are lexical chunks that are collocations. Totally convinced, strong accent, terrible accident, sense of humor, sounds exciting, looks fine, sounds awesome, brings good luck.